Hello, everybody. Oh, that was loud for me in my headphones. How are you doing today? My name is Brandon. I co-own a little shop up here in the frigid norths of Canada called Variant Edition Graphic Novels and Comics. See the little thing right there? Yeah, I'm even learning which way to point now because all of this is reversed. Look at me, being a professional. Except for the lighting. I'm like feeling really red and shiny. You know. But I mean, hey. I guess repping the country. Alright. Tired, sad. Having a couple days, having a few weeks, honestly. But life moves on, and you know what? All things considered, I'm doing pretty good. The store itself is getting a new system, running that, and getting things together. It's going really well. It's going to do some really cool things. I'm going to talk about it in a column in the future here. I'm going to get back to doing the columns probably next week. Get a few more of those out before the end of the year. That is the plan. Squee might be incoming shortly because he is lingering over yonder. What's happening, Squish? What are you doing? He's sitting. Okay. So he's just going to sit on a whole bunch of cords. Nothing bad will happen probably unless everything goes down. That could be a thing because cats. All right. Let's go over the rules before we get into the nut meat of everything. First off, stories first, collecting second. When we talk about the final order cutoffs, we're going to talk more about new arc starts and first issues instead of really focusing on, say, look at the 20 million covers that are on this book. There's so many sources to get that information out there. Y'all should check some of those out. Second rule, helpful information is always welcome. We'll pop it up on the screen if you got a comment. If you're on that Facebook, if you're on the YouTubes, feel free to do that. Squee. For real. Buddy. Come on. Butts. Bye. Feel free to do that. Unhelpful information will not be acknowledged unless you address me as Comics Daddy, and maybe not even then, depending on your tenor. Sometimes people are weird. They're being ding-dongs. Rule 4, don't be a ding-dong. Treat people with respect. That goes for here. That goes for the world in general. Treat people kindly. Be a good person. Maybe. Try it. It'll be great. It'll be great for everybody. Probably. Maybe. All right. Let's get moving on some screen shares. Actually, no, wait. Before we get to that. So, Diamond has been having a time. They got some ransomware last week. That's why I couldn't pop up the Diamond stuff. And that happens. I will fully admit that from what I expected of Diamond in this kind of situation, they're doing quite well, considering how up until a few years ago they were still using Windows 95 to do all of their operations. Being able to get up and moving at this pace for all of their sites and different accoutrement is pretty good. But what it does mean is a lot of places didn't get their comics until very, very recently. Some of them today. And next week, it could be something similar for a lot of people. We're waiting to hear exactly how our pickups are going to be at the drop point. I expect anything coming in from Diamond, so basically not DC, not Marvel, the more and the rest, other than Scout, That's all going to arrive probably on the Wednesday, and we'll be processing it as best we can. So I would expect everything to be in by Thursday, but we'll see, because shipping things, who knows right now. It's going to just be a wild one, and we're just going to roll with it and see what happens. All right, now we can screen share. What are we up to? I want this one. Gonna share that screen. Gonna make it mean. Why? Nobody knows. I should probably have a nap at some point. I've been prepping 2 meals today, because eating is good and it lets you not die, which is very important for a lot of people, I find, just in general. But I like cooking. I like prepping. I find when I'm feeling sad, if I'm making something for somebody, that actually makes me feel better, which is good. Although there are some moments when I'm feeling down enough that I just can't do anything. That's not what's happening right now. So I'm at the point where maybe I cook some things, maybe I prep some things, and feed my people. My people's Danica, so she can get some food. It's going to be great. And no one has to starve to death. All right. Penguin Random House. With that final order cutoffs. As we've said before, we're going to burn through a lot of these things. Mostly because gestures. Setting fire to a whole hour for final order cutoffs is a little strange, especially when a lot of it's sort of known quantities for a lot of folks. But I don't know where I was really going with that, other than I want to have this be more entertaining instead of just me reading out like, oh yeah, this information here, blah blah blah. Unless there's something to the side, basically, that we should all explore together, which is when I would explore it all together. We do have the first volume of Nightwing. One of the things I like about the FOCs on Penguin is you get a little bit of extra time to kind of figure some things out. So this Tom Taylor run has been very well received. Our orders at the store have gone up so much during this run. It is basically kind of like the story about Nightwing coming into a lot of money and being the kind of person that the internet seems to want Batman to be, which is like, hey, what if billionaire used their money for more communal good? And really doing that with some superheroic trappings. I think it's a very smart move on Tom Taylor's part. I say Tom King because The Strange Adventures graphic novel is on FOC on Penguin Random House right now. If y'all don't want to order it from Lunar or Universal. Universal is good people, but I understand from Lunar. For whatever personal reason you might have. You big weirdos. The Strange Adventures has gone over really well. It was one of our bestsellers for sure. I personally am kind of moving away from Tom King's kind of patter, etc. But I will never argue with how he seems to be connecting with the audience right now. It is quite deep and really kind of gets in there. Who wants to marry a billionaire? I don't think I want to know about that. Wonder Woman, the first volume of the Becky Cloonan, Michael Conrad arc. Wow, what a fantastic series. I love this Wonder Woman run, and I'm very happy to be able to share with people, as it looks like in mid-December. If you have some Wonder Woman people in your life, or just like, hey, I should get them a little something, talk to your local comic store right about now. They can order it and make it do good things. Luke Cage City on Fire #1 is the new Luke Cage mini series. We'll get that loading there. Timeless #1 is one of these one-shots that sort of sets the table for Marvel for the next year. It's got Jed McKay at the helm with a whole bunch of artists on board to shepherd you through. There's going to be some Kang, because Kang seems to be at least a part of the big next push in Marvel, the next phase, if you will. What do we got here for Lucas Cage? His city's on fire. Comic script by... I like how they've modified this. Very nice. One of the things that I'm really enjoying about Penguin is how quick they're adapting. There are things that they're pushing through as they're happening. Of course, it would have been great if they kind of landed with all of these things running. But then what have we done to complain? Retailers, we love us to complain. We love us to complain. To use words proper like. Anyways. Yeah. What would we complained about if Penguin hit the ground running? I don't think we would have taken that well. We would have complained that they were too good at their job, which is what some people are doing when they get their reorders in from damages. The items that they're getting in are packed too well. Outrageous. And for free? What's going on here? What kind of shenanigans is this? I wish I was lying to you about how people are reacting in certain ways. It's so wild to me. Anyways, an all too relevant story rocks the Marvel U when a black man is murdered by a police officer in New York City. Luke Cage is called to action. But what does a good man do when protecting the streets puts him at odds with his own people? A cadre. That word always weirded me out. Don't know why I caught on it and stopped. A cadre of crooked cops named the Regulators are out to terrorize ordinary citizens with Daredevil determined to bring them down no matter the cost. And Mayor Fisk equally determined to use them to tighten his grip on the city. It's up to Cage to keep the city from completely going up in flames. Honestly, that is super, super awesome. I think this is, wow, incredibly relevant to our times right now. As noted for our American peeps, I love you all. Americans a lot of times aren't so good at when it is not about them. I say that stereotypically. I understand. You, though, you're one of the good ones. So don't worry. You're pretty American head. Just keep in mind that our PRH stuff is going to be in Canadian, and don't freak out. Don't freak out too bad. Man, you can tell on these ones when I'm like a little bit tired and punchy. It's because I'm being condescending as hell. And again, thank you, Penguin, for including the ratios. My God, it fills my heart up. Oh yeah, this is something to note for Timeless. Ms. Minutes is going to be in it, which is pretty cool for those who watched Loki and were like, hey, what if some characters can be in here? Wastelanders Star-Lord #1. It's a series of one-shots based on the Wastelanders podcasts that Marvel's been doing. It's basically far future, bad times, different characters coming together for a good time story. Kamen Rider Classic Manga Collection. That's pretty cool. Kamen Rider being a really big, and feel free to correct me because I'm the proper vernacular, but the Super Sentai stuff, basically the Power Ranger stuff, a lot of it came from Kamen Rider, at least adjacent television and all of the Super Sentai stuff. Be really cool to dig into some of this. Actually, I'm gonna pop that open, get to it a little bit, in just a little bit. The Amazing Spider-Man is moving at quite a clip. As you can see, we're FOCing stuff in January now. My guess for this is because they committed to this delivery plan. And a lot of times with the publication schedule for publishing companies, probably committed to it a year ago. I believe they're trying to get ahead of the weekly schedule to make sure that these books will come out instead of log jamming, which I appreciate. I don't much care for something coming out so fast, even though I'm really enjoying this Amazing Spider-Man stuff. And I would, because it's got my boy, Benefin Riley, at the helm of it. Really like that kind of thing. And it's gonna have the Slingers back. My goodness, it's like a smorgasbord of weird esoteric Spider-Man things that Brandon loved when he was a Ute. So that stuff's happening there. But anyways, I don't like having to order such things, but truly we know how this goes. If you're upset by the speed of which something's coming out, that you're having to order things in advance, that they're not doing returnability like DC is doing for a lot of their stuff, when you have to order their issues without having previous sales information. Just don't order a whole lot for shelf. Yeah, you might screw some folks over, but if you keep a good eye on how your sales go, a lot of us can kind of guess how these things are going to go based off of current interest, and just really adjust from there. And if folks are buying off the shelf and there's not enough for shelf, that is a problem. But unfortunately, with the way that these things are coming out, it's not your problem, and it can't be. You're ordering a billion different covers at the same time. So, what do you want to do? Do you want to get it exactly right? Do you want to twist yourself into knots, or do you want to just kind of freaking nail it? If you run out, try and do some reorders. I know you can get from Diamond and Penguin now, and a lot of times Penguin just has extra stuff hanging out. That's actually been a lot of fun, because that hasn't happened for Marvel for a while. Anyways, being real loosey-goosey on this, Elektra, Black, White, and Blood continues the run of the Black, White, and Blood murder books, because all the characters are very murder characters, hence the blood. It's a great anthology series that has produced some absolutely outstanding tales. They did a Wolverine, they did Carnage, they did Deadpool, and now they're doing Elektra. And so that'll be good to have in hand. The last Inferno will be coming out. Very sad, because Jonathan Hickmans is saying goodbye to the X-Men line. Very sad. But he's going to do it with a heck ton of covers, as is the way. The Darkhold Omega wrapping up that series of one-shots about the dark bad magic stuff from Steve Orlando. Ooh, doo, 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 doo. Dun, 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 dun. Scrolling. Come on. Yeah, I really think that might be all the things we're talking about. Ooh, girl. Oh, I forgot that they're doing this. Finally, a re-release of the collection of Captain America: The Truth from Kyle Baker and Robert Morales. It's where Isaiah Bradley comes from. If you're all watching that Falcon Winter Soldier series, that's where that dude comes from. Very important story. I really liked what they did with that. Get into this Kamen Rider. Oh yeah, the original run of the legendary Kamen Rider manga, now in English, as a special 50th anniversary hardcover omnibus. Oh, it's a big boy. It's gonna be a big boy. Fans the world over have been long enthralled by the tales of Kamen Rider, the masked motorcycle riding superhero who protects the world from injustice, kidnapped and experimented upon by the evil terrorist organization known as Shocker. Hanjo Takeshi manages to escape their clutches and use his newfound strength to fight against their schemes. These are the first adventures in a legacy that spans dozens of television series and films drawn and written by series creator and manga superstar Shotaro Ishinomori. Commemorating the 50th anniversary of the classic 1971 publication, this collection is the first hardcover edition of Kamen Rider in English, and it features the original Kamen Rider manga series plus special bonus materials and full color inserts. I'm very excited about this. I really want this as part of sort of my comics history collection. I think it's going to be really cool. Brandon, stop being a weirdo. All right. Ooh, the Marvels collection from Kurt Busiek. It's basically sort of like a very Astro City take on the Marvel Universe that I really love. And ooh, yes, this is going to be cool. Teen Titans Go and the DC Superhero Girls are having themselves a crossover, a big smishmash, where they're both in the same story. Yeah, have you heard of the Wolverine? Anyways, there's a big collection of that character from two dorks named Chris Claremont, Frank Miller with some Paul Smith in there. My God, who are those dorks, right? Huh. Get out of here with your Wolverines. That's never going to catch on. Ever. The Annihilation Omnibus is on final order cutoff. It's not coming out until April because that's what we are doing now in terms of time spans. It'll probably even be delayed past that because who knows what's happening with the printing of these things. There's been so many things delayed into the new year. Not a whole lot of omnibuses on the way currently. Ooh, the Star Wars omnibus by Jocelyn Aaron. That'll be cool too. All right, that wraps up that one. Let's go to some Lunar. This batch here. Ooh, they changed their system a little bit. I like it. This little bitty here is for folks who are ordering directly from Lunar. If you are like me, ordering from Universal, that list is going to be this chunk of info right there. That sweet chunk of info. The Batgirl series is finally coming out from Becky Cloonan and Michael Conrad. It features Babs. It features Steph. It features Cass. It features all the Batgirls. This is something that I know a lot of fans have been clamoring for I'm going to say a decade at least, because that's what I feel in my heart. In my heart thoughts, in the heart meets, that it's been a thing. I know that these characters are so beloved and they're all together in one series right now. That's going to be rad as heck. And so keep an eye out for that. I feel like it's going to have a bit of a longer discovery period from a more passive audience. The Batman Fortnite Foundation gets a second printing for those who missed out on the first. The Batman One Dark Knight from Jock kicks off. It'll be very cool. This over here is a spot gloss induced cover, a blackout cover that looks really cool. It's going to be very limited, but it's going to look dope as heck. But no, you don't necessarily expect it to be around at any given place. Wait a second. Cut the crap, Brandon. Get back here. The DC poster portfolio of Pride is coming out. Oh, those covers were so good. And look at that. It's so sweet. It's so wonderful. The Justice League Annual, featuring the kickoff to the upcoming Justice League versus Legion of Superheroes story, which is going to be cool as heck. So, Legion fans, you want this. You want it in your face. I know there's a lot of you. Some of you only get Legion stuff. and it's been a hard road for the past while. So don't worry, we've got you. Let's get to Universal. What are we looking at here? I'm skipping the collected editions because they always pop up in Penguin Random House later, and it's honestly the source that I trust the most for that information. For that information. Green Arrow Stranded. One of those great graphic novels that have been happening from DC. After a plane crash on a deserted island, 13-year-old Oliver Quinn must learn the skills he needs to survive and protect his injured father. Ollie has always hated the idea of hunting, but his dad insisted they go on this trip with business partner Sebastian and Sebastian's son Tyler. When Ollie fails to take a perfect shot, the teasing starts, and he wonders if his dad will ever be proud of him again. But just when he thought their trip couldn't get any worse, their private jet is struck by lightning and crash lands on a deserted island. Ollie awakens to find his dad seriously injured and the other passengers nowhere in sight. If father and son are to survive, Ollie is going to have to learn skills he's been avoiding developing so far. He has never felt so sure of who he is, or if he will be able to hang on hasn't felt less sure of who he is, or if he will be able to hang on until help arrives. This fast-paced and suspenseful tale from writer Brendan Deenan and illustrator Bel Hosala is sure to keep readers on the edge of their seats. Now, judging by the price point here, it's going to be one of the more all-ages touch points for this, and I think that is pretty neat. Oh yeah, this Nightwing 87. This is the Nightwing issue that is going to be one continuous image if you placed every page next to each other and did that. You would get to see just a whole story as they go through a city, but also look at this cover. Look at Dick. Look at the baby. Nightwing. So cool. Speaking of thirsty covers, Robbins, you're doing good work. Good job, Nick Robles. Getting that thirst out there. Space Cadet from Scoot. The all-ages Scout imprint. A child with big dreams of going to the moon someday. One magical night, the youngster wakes up on the lunar surface. A friendly astronaut gives a tour of Earth's solitary satellite and teaches the importance of working hard to achieve your dreams. Seems a little sweet. And Swamp Thing, Green Hell. Ooh, girl. From Jeff Lemire and Doug Mankey. The Earth is all but done. The last remains of humanity cling to a mountaintop island lost in an endless floodwater. The parliaments of Green, Red, and Rot all agree it's time to wipe the slate clean and start the cycle of life over again. And to do so, they've unified their powers to summon an avatar, one of the most horrific monsters to ever stalk the surface of this forsaken planet. Against a creature like that, there can be no fighting back, unless you have a soldier who understands the enemy. Someone who has used its tactics before. Someone like Alec Holland. Of course, it would help if Alec Holland hadn't been dead for decades. Jeff Lemire, the author of the smash hits Joker Killer Smile and The Question, The Deaths of Vic Sage, along with the graphic novel that inspired the television sensation Sweet Tooth, returns to Black Label with one of the greatest artists in modern DC history, Doug Mankey, in tow. Together, they'll unleash a gory, gruesome monster mash where the fate of humanity rests in the hands of someone who isn't human at all. In a world. All right. That's that wrapped up. Oh, girl, let's get to some diamond stuff. Big dorks. Final order cutoffs. I said view all. Is that all? That's what I thought. You better run. the Geiger 80th page giant for folks who are getting Geiger. Make sure they get this. I know some shops that wouldn't, because they don't do the due diligence. I was going to say something meaner. It could be mean. If you're not making sure that people are getting things like this when it really does tie in, I understand some folks are just like, I don't want that. But you should have a feel for your customers, in general anyways. I have a few customers where like they're looking for us to curate a bit of their pull-up box experience. And so we make that happen. There's some people who you do not at all give them recommendations. They don't want it. They would have asked for it because they're very meticulous. Get yourself that feel. Work from there. Lady Mechanica's back with a new run. The collected editions are now all available at Image, and Joe Benitez is working on that new series. It'll be very exciting for a lot of folks. All right, important news. The What's the Furthest Place from Here vinyl editions are all going to have second printings. Through to the 6th issue, the second printings will be print to order. So what comic store orders, you will get that. But until then, because these had to be printed a long time in advance, these vinyls are limited basically to one per store. So just keep that in mind, and hopefully you can keep some customers happy. If not, that sucks. But again, it's not anything you did to them, so it's not like they were going to get a better experience elsewhere. I know we've got a customer who is very excited for those vinyls. I'm going to make sure that he gets those because he's committed to the run of them. And that's kind of where we lie on it, is like, who's interested in I just kind of want this because, and who's kind of like in it, I find you get a lot more mileage out of someone who's in it. You can make more money off of the randos. Oh yeah, that'll be $50. Or you can keep someone really invested and kind of keep them in. I truly love the ability to get people the things that they're absolutely going to love and cherish and just keep and hold and whatnot. Animal stories here. What separates us from the animals? What connects us? Award-winning cartoonists Peter and Maria Hui probe these mysteries across 6 surreal and interconnected stories. After tremendous acclaim for their series Coin Op Comics, 2 brilliant creative. Yeah, no, I get you. Get to the what's the pitch? Give me the pitch. Pushing the boundaries of there. Yeah, cool. Okay. Pitch a book. I love supporting the creators of lifting them up. Talented people, and these people are. Coin Op Comics is great. I want to know this stuff here. A girl who keeps pigeons starts receiving messages from a new bird in her flock. A ship's crew rescues a dog only to find far stranger things in the sea around them. A reincarnated cat with criminal intentions. A parrot who leads a revolution. A squirrel who tempts a woman in a beautiful garden glade. Drawing inspiration from Aesop's Tables, film noir, and the Old Testament, Peter and Maria Hui apply their singular and sophisticated visual storytelling to create a new set of modern tales for our modern times. That is the pitch. Do the pitch up top. People check out. That's just the thing. We're all busy. We all got less time on our hands with like everything at our fingertips. We've got almost the entirety of modern television just right there. Music, whatever. Time's precious. Get your pitch in. I understand the gravity of including more information. That's great. At the top, sink the hooks. then get flowery. You sink the hooks, and then someone wants to discover that extra information, that extra sweetness that you can provide. That should have been reversed. Rob Liefeld doing some snake eyes. It is exactly what you think. It's a sword and knife book. Lots of sword knives, knife swords, and the like. The last of IDW's Star Wars Adventure stuff getting collected. I don't think these will be in print for long, so if you want a good stock of that, you should order them up now because they're losing the license. Also, Transformers Back to the Future collection coming out. It's going to be bonkers. It has apparently been a long time coming because it was supposed to come out like February. Good times had by all. Ooh, 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 ooh. Look at you, Dynamite, doing your Dynamite things. How many covers? So many covers. Look at me, I do all the covers. Fancy boys with the fancy toys. Do. Buckhead. What strange secrets lie in the mysterious town of Buckhead, USA? Toba and his mother, a renowned scientist, have just immigrated to the US, but instead of living in the big city like Toba always dreamed, they're moving to a sleepy little town into the Pacific Northwest called Buckhead. In the middle of the picturesque and pedestrian town, Toba discovers that things aren't as perfect as they seem. Toba and his newfound friends find a strange video game, a perfect replica of the town and its people. Soon, Toba is on the run from Men in Black, with his friends brainwashed by microchips. An astonishing new series from Shobo Coker and George Cambadis. Perfect for fans of Eve and Homesick Pilots. Hey, we've got a preview of some orts. Take a look at some ort. Looks like a good YA. I will personally consider that almost definitely when it comes into a graphic novel. For my reading purposes, I will read the first issue regardless. Got Buffy, the Last Vampire Slayer, takes place in the future. Can a lone Slayer save what's left of humanity? Buffy Summers is the last Slayer. Now in her 50s, she wages a one-woman fight against the forces of darkness who prey upon humanity in the daylight, unimpeded thanks to a magical catastrophe that has nearly blotted out the sun. Sounds bad. Not quality, but just like a situation. That seems like that wouldn't be fun to have to do. No. Archie's Holiday Magic Special One Shot is another anthology series featuring the Archie characters. Get yourself some Christmas. Crimson Cage is something I'm very interested in from John Lees and I want to say Alex. There we are. Alex Cormack. Double Toilin' Rumble. Brace yourself for No Holds Barred reimagining of Shakespeare's Macbeth from the critically acclaimed creators of Sync. New Orleans, 1984. Chuck Frenzy is the main event star of the local Louisiana pro wrestling territory, but yearns for something greater. A fateful encounter with a trio of terrifying beings in the bayou gives Chuck a glimpse of championship glory beyond his wildest dreams, if he is willing to do something terrible to achieve it. This, I have been told, I'm not 100% sure of this, is also done in iambic pentameter. It has the ba-da, 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 ba-da. So, wild. Wild if true. Wild if true. Ooh, girl. Hopefully this is coming out as it says here. We'll see. The third volume of Space Riders, the first volume, finally came back into print. My God, I'm putting it into people's hands. From Alex Zurich, who is the main driver of this series with the good art. Hopefully that is actually happening and not one of those weird things where Diamond's like, hey, you might like this. It's up here. Have fun, dorks. And you know what? That's it. That's it for this week's show. Baby, I'm going to maybe nap. That's a lie. I'm going to keep prepping these meals so that we're all going to eat real good for the weekend. Thank you so much for watching. As always, you can find me in these streets and at Comics Beat doing my column, The Indirect Market. I know it's been a gap since the last one, but my grandma died and then I got sick, and that sucked. So getting back into the swing of things, dealing with a bit of the sads, and hopefully pushing through that to give you all the good content. Meanwhile, you can find me also at Variant Edition here in Edmonton. And hey, thank you for watching. And we will talk to you all again soon. All right, bye.